What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Battlehawks Show, and welcome back to the UFL Weekly Breakdown, your go-to source for all things United Football League. I am Jordan, of course, like always, and today we're diving into a Week 8 showdown that had it all. The St. Louis Battlehawks thrilling 29-28 victory over the Birmingham Stallions at the Battle Dome at America Center. I don't know where that came from. This game featured 6 lead changes, back and forth, nail biter, the whole game. Crazy. Clutch plays and a roaring crowd of over 30,000. The 12th man, 13th man, 14th man, you call us? Yeah. Let's break down how that all unfolded. Like I said, this is a Battlehawks show. Let's break it down, basically. We're going to go over stats, game overview, star performers of the night, how the game was won, basically the turning point, quotes from Anthony Becht after the game. I also have audio, and how we clinched a playoff spot in Week 8. Huge news. And we'll break down what I'm going to start calling the final whistle. That'll wrap up our Week 8 recap. So basically the overview and how it went down of the game. Battlehawks and the Stallions traded blows in a back-and-forth contest. It was back and forth, definitely. Sacks, fumbles, interceptions. We had a pick 6. We'll go over that. Birmingham struck first with a 65-yard touchdown to from Jamar Smith to Deion Kane, who had two 50-plus yarders, bomb catches. One was on a slant and just dusted us. But then St. Louis responded with 2 rushing touchdowns by quarterback Max Duggan, taking a 13-12 lead into halftime. That was nuts. Hold on. Yeah, that was crazy. In the second half, now, the momentum swung multiple times. All right, momentum came in the fourth quarter when linebacker Callahan O'Reilly intercepted it for 18 yards, pick 6, changed the game, giving St. Louis the 22-21 lead. That was insane. The place erupted. We erupted. It was nuts. Birmingham then answered again with, like I said, that 47-yard touchdown bomb from Smith to another one to Cade Johnson. That was one where he caught it over his head, just a perfect pass, actually, from Smith. Not going to lie, Smith looked pretty good. And then that's when Birmingham reclaimed the lead, 28-22, but the Battlehawks were not done yet. Running back Jacob Saylors clipped it in and drove for a 1-yard touchdown run, which got called back for some stupid penalty, which penalties were killing us all night. I feel like we're getting the Mahomes treatment, but on defense. You know what I mean? Like, we're defense gets Mahomes. Yeah, anyway. But he punched it in twice, ended up punching it in twice. And then we got the 1-point conversion, which made the score 29-28 with 4 minutes, or no, the drive was in 4 minutes to go. And that pretty much finished it, besides them driving down the field, us getting a pass interference call, which, thank God, it's not a spot foul. If it was a spot foul, game was over. St. Louis loses by 2 points because they're going to kick a field goal to win it when time expires. They're going to kneel it 3 times. We're going to run out our timeouts, and they're going to kick it to win the game, or maybe we get it back with a couple seconds left. And realistically, we would lose that game. But, again, our defense came out on top again. They prove to us why they're the leaders of this team. They truly are. Because our offense just gets by. Max is a beast. You can see it in his face, dude. Like, he's like, all right. Like, after he runs it in or, like, runs it for a massive amount, you can just see him get up and be like, I can't be doing this the whole time. Like, again, O-line problems. The playoffs start in, 3 weeks? June 8th. By the way, it's in the Battle Dome, regardless. The UFL Conference Championship. Well, XFL if you want to call it, because it's our conference. It's us against DC, which this happened last year. We played, oh my God, brain fart. We played the Brahmas at their place in week 9, and then week 10, we played them in our dome, and then the first round of the playoffs, we played them in our dome, and then they beat it. We played them 3 times, like, in a row. So this time, this Friday Night Lights again in the Battle Dome, we have the Brahmas again. And then we cap off the season and go to DC for Game 10, who we're facing in the first week of the playoffs. So we're going to play them twice in a row. We played them week 3, and we lost. I think that's when we lost our quarterback. And it's go time. You better, don't show them everything, but you got to go. It's go time. This next game, you better ramp up, and your O-line better step up and show us that they're about to play DC. And then we're going to get a playoff conference championship preview week 10 in DC. Too bad it's not here. But that's okay, because we're playing them in the playoffs. We got them in the playoffs in the Battle Dome. It's a different environment. You beat us in week 3. We'll see what happens in week 10. Either way, St. Louis, show up, bring a friend. Bring your kids, bring your auntie, bring your uncles, bring your grandma. She'll love it. Bring her some headphones. Oh yeah, we got this thing at the last game. I got like 3 flags. But yeah, they, like I said, they opened the game with that 65-yard bomb, and that kind of crushed us. Let's go ahead and do the stars of this game. Players. Whoops. Basically, players of the game, star performers of the night. All right. Max Duggan showcased his dual threat, of course, ability, rushing for 54 yards on the day, 2 crucial nice touchdowns, while passing for only 110 yards. They really changed this offense up. We went from a straight passing team to a straight run team. Jacob Saylors was a workhorse Saturday at noon, carrying the ball 16 times for 118 yards on a crucial touchdown late in the game, which is true. And he got the 1-point conversion, which won us the game. Saylors is a beast. How he's not getting a shot in the NFL somewhere next year is beyond me. On defense, got to give it to Callahan O'Reilly. Pick 6 was a game changer, shifting the momentum in favor of the Battlehawks. It was insane. Like I said, the place erupted. He read that like, I don't even know. He read it like Grandma reading you Green Eggs and Ham for the 15th time. I don't know. You tell me. Despite the loss for the Stallions, Jamar Smith had a strong performance for Birmingham, throwing for 262 yards and 3 touchdowns, which we'll go over more stats here in a minute. Deion Kane was his top target, of course, hauling in 2 receptions for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just burnt us. The 2 catches that he did, 115 yards. What does that tell you? One was for like 60. The other one, it was insane. It was crazy. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and go into some stats here. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over passing for both teams here. Jamar Smith, 14 for 27, 262 yards. Like I said, 3 picks, 1 interception. QBR rating of 107, 51 completion percentage. 14 for 27. I mean, that's not terrible. He threw for 260. I mean, he chucked the ball. He was making some nice throws. You got to give it to him. Max Duggan, 12 for 21, 110 yards, no touchdowns through the air, 1 pick, 51.7 QBR rating, and a 57% completion percentage. Not that great for Max through the air. Rushing, Jamar Smith, 10 for 45 on the Stallions. CJ Marble, 11 for 40. They rushed, and then Ricky Pearson, who I thought was their starter, a 9 for 39. They had 30 rushing attempts for 124 yards total. No rushing touchdowns on the ground, though. No rushing touchdowns. For your St. Louis Battlehawks, Jacob Saylors was 16 for 118 and a score, averaging 7.4 yards a carry. Max Duggan, 11 rushes for 54 yards. 2 beautiful scores when we freaking needed them in the red zone. And then Howard, 3 for 1. Terrible. So we also had 30 rushing attempts for 173 yards. So we won on the ground this game. Our O-line kind of stepped up when our run game happened. And what I noticed during the game is when we ran the ball, we did good. Our O-line looked better. It's like, okay, let's run the ball more with Saylors. But you got to get that passing game down. Otherwise, you're just going to stack the box. Birmingham Stallions receiving, Deion Kane, 2 receptions, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a 65-yarder and like a whatever else yarder. Stupid. 67 yards after catch. He had 4 targets. K. Johnson, another long reception, one catch. So all 3 of these catches were for 163 yards for 3 catches and 3 touchdowns. Jeez, man. He had 2 targets. K. Johnson, he only caught 1, but that catch was a bomb. It was a nice touchdown pass and catch. Marlon Williams, 2 for 24. Everybody else was 2 receptions or less for under 23 yards. So they had 10 different receivers, 14 catches, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. Crazy. Now your St. Louis Battlehawks receiving. Akeem Butler, 3 for 36, very quiet. He had that 28-yard catch, which was very crucial when we on our game-winning drive going down. You could always rely to him. He turned around, straight jumped, and I mean, nobody else could get it. Blake Jackson had he had a 33-yard bomb that he caught that was pretty clutch. Got around the defenders on the outside. He went 2 for 36. Jake Sutherland, a couple crucial catches for first downs, 3 for 22. Frank Darby, 1 for 13. Jacob Saylors only had 1 catch out of the backfield for 3 yards. Jacob Pearson, at his finest, doing what he normally freaking does. 2 catches for no yards. He had 3 targets. Yeah, and Gary Jennings had 2 targets, no yards. So we had 7 different receivers, 12 catches for 110 yards. So they pooped on us when it came to passing. They just took a massive, you can fill in the blank. Let's see here. On defense, they had 1 sack, surprisingly. I guess a lot of those were out of the pocket. We had 4 sacks. Our defense pooped. Interceptions, they had 1. Interceptions, we had 1. Forced fumbles, we had 2. They had 1. We recovered both of them, and they recovered their 1. Geez, man. Tackles for losses, they had 3. We had 3. And yeah, defense did pretty good. Now, Rodrigo, had only 2 attempts this game. He finally missed one. But they put him in there, and he's kind of rushed on the time. I don't know. I forget if it was the play clock or what it was. But it was a 50. It was a 58-yarder he attempted, and he hit the goal post. Dong! You could hear it throughout the whole stadium, dude. Oh man, that would have been a different ball game, man. It'd been, but you know what? We got the victory, which matters the most. We are 6-2. We're on a 4-game winning streak. These podcasts have been nice and positive this whole time. But like I said, Rodrigo did miss one. He did hit the other one from 49, but he missed the one from 58. Their kicker, Harrison Melvis, the thick kicker from our hometown, Mizzou. Kick for Mizzou. He is the all-time scorer in Mizzou history. Yeah, that boy has hella points. But he plays for the Stallions. We cheered him. We booed him. We yelled his name when he ran by. He went 3 for 3. His long was a 44. Kick returns. That Deion Kane, man, he might get a shot in the NFL. 3 returns for 75 yards. He averaged 25 yards a carry on that. And then Gary Jennings had a nice day. 3 returns for 91 yards. Blake Jackson had a nice kick return for three returns for 68 yards. So, I mean, not bad. They had 3 guys for 151. We had 2 guys for 159. What does that tell you? They punted a lot. Or no, that was kick returns. I'm sorry. We both punted 4 times for a total. They had 195. We had 201. We had 4 punts apiece. Ja'Cour Pearson, 2 returns for 2 yards. They had Davion Davis, 3 returns for 23 yards. I'm sorry, but how Ja'Cour still has a job is beyond me. It is beyond me. It's crazy. But this was a big week. This was a big week for St. Louis, like I said. A huge turning point. Basically, when the game was won, the decisive moment came with just 26 seconds left. Birmingham was driving, looking to get into field goal range. They got a penalty, I think, a false start or delay of game, and it drove them back to the 50 out of field goal range. But linebacker Travis Feeney forced a fumble from running back C.J. Marble, and Miles Jones recovered it, sealing the 29-28 victory for St. Louis. The place erupted when we figured out we were all holding each other back because it was a fumble. We were like, wait, don't explode yet. Wait, we need to make sure we get that ball because that game looked like it was over. It looked like we were going to lose. It really did. It was not looking good. After the game, coaches and players speak. Anthony Becht praised his team's resilience, stating, "When actually, you know what? Instead of reading it to you that I wrote down, let's hear from our head coach, Mr. Anthony Becht, after the game in the locker room. Courtesy of St. Louis Battlehawks, the XFL Battlehawks at New Era Cap. Courtesy of them."
Bro, seriously, I am so freaking proud of you guys today. The valleys, the peaks, the ups and downs, you guys stayed the course and finished the game. Give yourself a hand now. Believe in, trust it, execute in the moments here. We have our moments in execution, man, but finishing is what it's all about. All right, we trust each other when the moment's at the highest. Doesn't matter how much time's left, who did what, you got to come together. Today was a team win to help it down. Listen now, season's not over. All right, now, big high. Listen, this is how it works in this team. Big high, right? Then we come back Friday. What are we going to do? Listen, man, let's set the standard high. Yep. Let's set the standard high, because right now, you're right where you want to be. 4 wins in a row. Confidence is building. Yes, okay, we got to build off of it. Build off it. We ain't working a lot these last couple weeks, man. It's all mental preparation. It's up to you guys to make that decision, to come together. If we do that, we'll reach our goals. You hear me?
Break it down, Willie.
Yeah! I'll keep it going, boys. Yeah!
That was your coach, Anthony Becht, courtesy of the St. Louis Battlehawks and the XFL Battlehawks. And big news, basically, the scenario, like I said last week, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, but regardless, we still got the home playoff game in St. Louis, June 8th. The Renegades almost beat DC, but DC came out victorious 33-30. Came down to the wire. Of course, they won. I think they have the second biggest fan base in the league. Whoop-de-doo. You ain't coming near St. Louis. We're the champions. That's why we get the championship. Just a little around the league stuff. Showboats went to overtime with the Brahmas and beat them 24-22. Obviously, the Birmingham Stallions fell to your St. Louis Battlehawks 29-28. Michigan Panthers won and clinched basically to go to the playoffs against the Stallions. They beat the Roughnecks 30-18, and the Renegades fell to DC, also clinching them a playoff spot against the Battlehawks, losing 30-33. Man. Now, Week 8 standings. All right, let's go over standings. I know I'm bouncing around here. In number 1, Michigan at 6-2, DC at 6-2, St. Louis at 6-2, and then you got Birmingham at 5-3, Arlington at 3-5, Houston at 3-5, Memphis at 2-6, and San Antonio, who is gonna be here in the Battle Dome Friday night at 7. Is it on Fox? I don't know. But anyway, this crowd showed up, and we're in the conference championship. We got to do it this year. We got to win this playoff game, because then the next game is the championship game, and it's here. It can't get any better than that. It really can't. You cannot beat that in any scenario possible. But like I said, the Battlehawks, and like I said, they improved to 6-2, taking sole possession of first place in the XFL Conference. They'll look to continue their momentum in their final regular season home open game against the Brahmas. Despite the loss, the Stallions, now 5-3, have clinched a playoff spot in the USFL Conference Championship, like I said, against Michigan. Now, that wraps up my Week 8 recap. The Battlehawks showcased their grit and determination, pulling off a thrilling victory in front of their home crowd in the Battle Dome. Be sure to subscribe to UFL Weekly Breakdown. I wrote that down twice. Be sure to subscribe to our page here on YouTube. It should be your favorite podcast platform, and follow us on social media for your latest updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time for more UFL and Battlehawks updates. And remember, call is the law.